I'm about to show you how I'm playing Starseed renegade. Do this G-thing. Hey, it's about a circus of life. I'm born to die. Oh hell, my higher mind has downloaded to this part of your mind. It's time to go from carbon base to a Christian system. I'm not the specialist protocol for completing my mission. Listen. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to a new episode of Starseed Media. I'm your host, Marilyn Monroe, and I'd like to thank you for joining me this morning in the wilderness. And as you can see, I'm trying on my new coveralls to make sure they fit right. I have to try them on. I should have tried them on at the store, but I'm the type, I go in and I get out if I'm not ordering off the internet. I prefer to order off the net, so I won't have to go anywhere. Because I have to try them on and make sure they ain't riding up the ass, because it gets pretty cold in Sweet Home, Alabama. But I'd like to thank everybody for supporting the new video and sharing the new video. That is very vital to the black community, I have to say, in that way, because these are the minds of the young ones coming up in this generation today that hip-hop has captivated in this mind state of being gangster. And I could even go back to when I was a teenager listening to rap music, gangster rap music specifically, and they talk about some of the most craziest things, and I was like, wow, it's amazing that this was my type of music, but that was the type of lifestyle that I lived. Being a gangster or thug. I've never been a gang member, but I have been affiliated with the different gangs in the neighborhood. So we had everything in Birmingham, from Vice Lord to Gangster Disciple to Blood, and of course the Crip. So I've been affiliated with all those gangs, but not actually a member of them. But in this type of society, whoever you with, you're one of them, So if something goes down, you're pretty much going to be in it, because nobody's going to try to decipher who's who and who's not, if you understand what I'm saying. So it's definitely not trying to be a badass in any way or try to regurgitate any of the street knowledge or anything that I used to have to live by, because as I've said before, with no shame, I have been out there in the streets, in street life, and this is what I was born into and raised to for my soul growth. And I have done things that you do in the streets in order to survive. And I'm just not foolish enough to express those things in my music, because that would be just really stupid. All right, so I'm not trying to prove anything to anybody, but this is a program that needs to be busted in society systems of control, and especially amongst the black youth, because the black youth have this mentality now that violence is very cool, and it's actually affecting the world. When I go overseas, I see other decrees of, not decrees, but other, I have to say, races of culture, other cultures, I have to say it this way, are actually affected by the way street life is in America, to the way they dress, to the way they speak their rap music. And I'm not saying these cultures over there don't have their own little gangster thug society, but a lot of these gangster thugs who claim it to be are not really that way. It just seems like the more violent you are, the cooler you are in your music. You don't actually have to be that way or live that way. Now you just can illustrate that through your music or through the way you talk to others on the net. So you have these cyber gangsters, what I like to call them, these cyber thugs. So I'm sending out messages on the Illuminati peace movement, I have to say, because there's a difference between the Illuminati and the Illuminati peace movement, which I have adopted from Tupac Shakur, I have to say. Illuminati peace movement is about the killing of consciousness, of negativity. The original Illuminati, where I've taken the name from, was more in representation of actually killing individuals in order to create war, to maintain some type of peace. But as we all know, war begets war. It doesn't bring peace, it only brings more war. So I call myself a suicidal Illuminati rider. I've explained this before, because for the black community, or I have to say it this way, for the nigger kingdom, I have to talk street this way to let them know I'm specifically talking about the nigger kingdom of the streets. They're going to look at me as a sellout because of the things that I speak about, it shows the ignorance of these types of mindsets, whether you're black, white, Chinese, or, you know, from fucking Saudi Arabia, Middle East, and it don't matter. You still have these programs of consciousness and society systems. So this is a new age that we are in, but these are the minds that we have to reach in order to blossom, in order to saturate and bring the higher vibrations of energies into our society so these things can manifest. And you still have these minds that are still asleep in these type of mindset programs in the systems of society that is sort of, I have to say, holding progress to the new age coming aboard. And this is what my music represents, and I've been doing this type of music basically all my life. I do have some music where I've attempted and very seriously, desperately tried to fit in the best way, but still I don't have the talent to just talk about certain things as far as murdering and sex and drugs. I just never had that makeup in me to have that type of talent to do it that way, because that's just not the purpose for my music on my Starseed mission. So just as I was a Starseed trapped in the confines of a street mentality, there are other Starseeds or Indigos or whatever name you want to fancy about who are trapped out there in the same way, not only in the streets, they're trapped in their minds in other places also. But this is just my path that I'm supposed to reach out to. I was assigned to the gutters, and I'm very happy about my job of cleaning out the gutters as much as I possibly can. But it's not up to me, it's up to the individuals who receive the message to take the message in and utilize what I'm having to say. Because this is a balancing of the masculine and feminine energies, and this is what I'm here to set an example for. I'm here to be a sort of prototype in the music game. So I was told this when I bought my contact, that this is what the purpose of my music is for. So I'm basically going against the whole nation of very talented rappers out there who I'm not knocking, I'm not in competition with, but I'm sitting here to do music in a specific way for a specific reason, according to my life's plan, according to the divine plan of creation. And this is damn well what I'm going to do. And I have no less intentions on but being 100% plus successful, because that's just who I am. And it's very important that this happened, because like I said, these are the trapped minds, and we are not to judge them. I'm not to judge them, because to judge others, of course, is to judge ourselves. So if you've been following the music or the Starseed videos, I'm basically repeating things right now, because repetition is the best thing right now, to just really to get it to sink into your minds and redefine definitions of what things are supposed to be in life. Because you can still be manly or man or masculine and still express feminine qualities of love, caring, and compassion. So I feel that I'm giving a good example of that. And still being heterosexual, because a lot of the guys think to be balanced with masculine feminine energies mean that for some reason you have to be gay, and not knocking the gay society, because I understand their spiritual growth also for their chosen bodies and that the energy that's going through them. But this has nothing to do with sexuality, but it has a lot to do with a conscious mind state that the program of the world system right now is no longer supporting. So there was a time where the operating system of the world, of Mother Earth, the dark had systems put in place, programs put in place to support dark behavior, negativity, of cheating in all types of ways, not only just in relationships, but in business, all types of manipulation, control, all these egotistical behaviors were supported by the system. So many of you individually and groups and companies will also find out now that that system is no longer being supported, because karma is coming back. Just as fast as you give the energy out, it's coming right back to you. Everything is manifesting much more proficient and much more quickly than it normally has, because of the rise in the vibration, the rise in the position of Mother Earth, and what we can call space, for the sake of conversation. So I spoke about operating systems and us being in a program conscious reality. in some of my Starseed videos a while back. So if you've been following them, you will see that this is actually what's being taking place. An example of that is government shutdown. I don't follow the news, but I kind of catch things by words of mouth, and I have certain people to report certain events in the world, so that way I can contemplate on it and meditate on them and see where we're actually going. So I feel that government will come to a complete shutdown, and then the new government caretaking systems can come in, along with the new banking financial systems, along with NASARA, the ending of the income tax and reserve banks and all the other world banks, and everything is going to come along to a new system, because this is the new system that has been put in place now. It's like people are still operating on, just for an example, we went from Windows 2000, and now we're operating on Windows 7, let's just say, or whatever the latest is. And now you have people that's coming on to the new operating system of Windows 7 or Windows 8, but you still have minds still locked in the 2000 program. So we have to be patient and compassionate enough to let these people run through their karmic systems of their life plans in order for them to reboot and rise their consciousness to the new operating system, because this is exactly what's going to be put in place. New government systems. It may look scary for the moment, but it shouldn't last that long. Like I said, all these things have been spoken about by myself and many other light workers, radiating this type of information and feeding it and affecting society's minds, because the Hunjamaki is definitely in effect. And it's been in effect for a while now, but now it's starting to permeate many more minds to awaken. And we all have our different areas, whether it's in writing books or doing independent films, music, art, sacred geometry. All these things, Starseed has a place in. Some of you just have a place of just simply living and being. You don't have to be this person in the spotlight. Everybody's not to be in the spotlight, So, and this is not about fame and fortune. This is about changing the world. And this is what we're here to do. And this is what we have been doing consciously. And now we're just becoming consciously aware of it. Being responsible for our thoughts, words, and actions is something that I never cannot say too much. And when you start to realize that you are responsible for your thoughts, it gives you a fear. Well, it gave me a huge fear when I finally realized that I was actually manifesting my reality in my awakened state. And I'm still awakening now. So if you're following these videos and you're appreciating the information that I'm giving out, I just want you to know that I'm still awakening to a lot of my innate abilities that I soon will display. I guess I can say it that way. To demonstrate the new species of human, the upgrading, I would have to say, to the new system in these physical human bodies. And this is the reason why I exercise and eat the way I do, in order to bring in more energy, to change over the strands of DNA for the fiber optic systems of the chakra system and everything to reboot and regroup and come back online the way they was since the beginning of creation before the fall, which we were responsible for the fall. So of course I represent the Pleiadian race of extraterrestrial beings, star-seated here on the planet to do my mission, and this is what I'm doing. And then so far I've been very, I have to say, successful. I'm very happy to the point that I've gotten here now, but I couldn't have gotten here without you. So this is why I always show my appreciation and love for everybody. Because when I first started these Starseed Media videos, I just thought I was just bringing in more people to call me crazy, which I did, but a lot of them, they kind of, mellowed out and smoothed out and saw that I was very serious about what I was doing, and saw that I wasn't trying to promote my music or make money off some type of superficial character that I didn't sat around and made up. And that was not the case. I'm very serious about my life, very serious about my talents. I'm very serious about my mission here on the planet in order to break down and bust the systems of society that's holding everybody in mental prisons of control and confined to their rules and not living their own life and living out their desires. So a lot of people still are in financial binds and financial troubles right now. And that's for their own soul growth reasons. And these are path and life choices that we have chosen before we actually incarnated, or I have to say born into this reality. So things are definitely changing, and my mark of the change is not only the change in government shutdown here in America, but also within. There's much more going on within my human vehicle than there ever has been, energetic-wise. Some things I just simply cannot put into words from some of the experiences that I have. But I'm sure many of you who've been following these Starseed videos can vouch for that, because you're going through the same changes as I. So it's not about me being greater, but I do promote goodness, rather than greatness over another. So this is not about, it's not a race, it's not a competition. We all have our own individual path, and this just so happened to be mine, that I'm very grateful and humbled to step into my role, to show this type of leadership or teachings or whatever name you want to fancy it for. I'm very happy to be utilizing my talents and abilities in such a way that I am affecting many people. And thank you for allowing me to know that I have affected you and many others who write me mails. It really does me good. It really empowers me to do a greater service and to be more comfortable in front of the camera, because as you can see, I'm very comfortable now in front of the camera, talking to the camera. Where in the beginning I was a little bit nervous about what type of information to put out and how to say it, and I didn't want to look, stupid or dumb. So I still had these little egotistical little thoughts running through my mind at the time when the video actually was playing, where I got caught up in a few of my words. But now you can see I'm smooth sailing now, and thank you all for that and for sharing all the information, and for other people's information as well, because this is a very important time for us on the planet Earth. And it's a very important time for Americans to wake up to what society systems has been doing to us. And there's changes are going to be uncomfortable, and but they're going to smooth out. They're definitely going to smooth out. So I'm very excited about these times, because a lot of us who are in the somewhat of the know has been looking forward to all this government shutdown stuff in order to reboot the system, in order for the caretaker government to come in. So again, I'd like to thank you all for supporting the new music, the new video, and hopefully you continue to support the information and videos of Starseed Media, as long as I continue to give out, legitimate, heartfelt wisdom and information for you to share. I'm sure you will continue to share. And I can only see things getting greater and better as far as the videos go, and as far as my music go, as far as you go, as far as, personally, individually in your life. Everything is upgraded now, because the system supports positive behavior. It supports positive outcomes, and this can't be misused, because as I said, the law of karma is still in place. So the energy that you give is the energy that you receive. So those who are used to manipulating people are going to find themselves in a lot of trouble, in a lot of darkness, and they're going to have to make a choice. They're either going to keep going down the path where they're just continuously putting their own foot up their fucking asses, or they're going to make a change. And this is the opportunity for those minds who like to operate that way to make the change, and those who are already on the positive state of spirituality, of service to others, and not necessarily service to self. But service to self could also be for service to others, because I serve myself by serving others, because it feels good. It feels good to give and to share, So that's a service to others, but also it's a service to me, because I just naturally love to take care of people and love to share with them, but not to the point where I'm drowning myself, you know what I mean? So if somebody want to drown, it's okay to let their ass drown if you see that they're causing their own problems like that. It's not necessary to always jump in and try to save somebody who's just on their own path of destruction. You cannot save a person like that. They can only bring you down with them. So you have to learn to be discerning of these types of people who are just set for destruction, and that's their sole path. There is no death ultimately. It's just simply a transition. So once you start to learn that, you become pretty much unattached, detached from a lot of the human emotions of what people go through. Because as long as you're still detached to these emotions and you're giving out certain sympathy of emotions of feeling sad, worry, you're still giving out a negative charge into the vibration, which still is holding up the progress of the whole. And what I mean by that, the whole of all of humanity, all of nature, all of the animals, insect kingdoms, all of the kingdoms, all of creation. So this is going to continue to go on until we just get it, until we get it and everything be running smooth. So things are definitely going to smooth out. So let's just continue to Stay positive and being responsible for our thoughts, words, and actions. And as I always say, good thoughts creates good reality. I'm Chucc signing off in my new coveralls in nature. I love you all. Take care. Bye. Revolutionized ways to overthrow the rap game. It's our submission to the government, taking the world stage. We from the collar, you will no longer walk off, just keep pursuing. Suicidal, Illuminati, body is what I'm doing. Stop the age of decadence, the rumors hip-hop spirits and essence. So we revitalized by the creed of hospitals called blessed in. Take heed to my scripts that depict the new age description. Conflict the minds, fight to say the dark age that encourage some mental prison. No more guns, no more weed.